What's the greatest force shaping your life? You might think it's fear, or maybe laziness, right? But it's not. It's actually this quiet, hidden mental habit that even the smartest people fall for. So let's really dig into this, because honestly, the second you see it, you can start to break free from it.
All right, so first up, a dangerous mental trap. And look, this isn't some obvious flaw in our thinking. No, the tricky part is that this mental trap, it actually feels a lot like being smart.
Let me ask you something, and be honest. Have you ever been absolutely 100% sure about something, only to find out you were completely wrong? I mean, that feeling, right? We've all been there.
Okay, or what about this one? Someone pitches a great idea, and your brain just instantly goes, nope, not gonna work. But then, maybe a few months down the road, you see that same idea taking off, and you get that sinking feeling that you shut the door way too fast.
And here's the big one. Think about a major decision you made. You felt totally confident making the call, but the result was a complete disaster. It just blew up in your face, and you were left thinking, how could I have been so sure, yet so wrong?
You see, here's the thing. This isn't just bad luck. It's not fate. All those moments, they're caused by a very specific mental trap. And what makes it so sneaky, so dangerous, is that it doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like intelligence. It feels like confidence.
Okay, so what is this thing? Let's give it a name. This is the illusion of knowing, and it's all about the exact moment our thinking just stops.
This really is the core of it all. It's that split second when your brain just flips a switch and goes, all right, I get it. I already understand this, and bam, case closed. It stops asking questions, it stops looking for anything new, and it just kicks into autopilot.
And this quote just nails it. The second you think you already know, thinking stops. It's not a slow fade, it's a hard stop. That feeling of knowing is literally the off switch for curiosity, for asking questions, for pretty much any real learning.
So, why is this so deadly? I mean, what makes this one simple habit so dangerous for our growth? Well, it really comes down to a battle between what feels comfortable and what actually leads to progress. To really get this, we've got to look at how our brains are wired. Our brains are basically energy-saving machines, and dealing with uncertainty, that takes a ton of energy. It literally burns calories. So of course, the brain prefers the easy route, familiar explanations, simple stories, comfortable beliefs, even if they're totally wrong.
And that's the real trade-off, isn't it? You get this little hit of psychological comfort, this feeling of certainty, but what you lose is massive. You lose accuracy, you lose growth, and in the long run, you lose wisdom.
This is such a powerful way to put it. Confidence without understanding is not power. It's a blindfold. That feeling of confidence we get from already knowing something, it's not real power. It's just a blindfold we've put on ourselves, and it keeps us from seeing what's really there.
Okay, so let's make this super practical. Think about relationships. The moment you decide, oh, I already know how they are, you stop really listening. You're not hearing what they're actually saying anymore. You're just hearing what you expect them to say.
And it's the exact same thing with money or your career. Once you think, yep, I understand how success works, you stop learning. You stop looking for new strategies or better ways to do things. And you just get left behind as the world keeps moving forward.
This happens all the time with our opinions, right? The second you say, I know who's right and wrong here, that's it. Thinking is over. You're not trying to understand anymore. You're just defending your own pre-existing position.
And the end result of all this, your mind, which should be this open, evolving system, just becomes a closed system. And what do closed systems do? They don't evolve, they just repeat the same old patterns over and over again. All right, now for a twist. This is something most people totally miss. It's what we call the intelligence paradox. Because this trap, it actually gets more dangerous the smarter you are.
How is that even possible? Well, think about it. A sharp mind is a tool. You can use it to find the truth, or you can use it to create really clever justifications for what you already want to believe. And let's be honest, it's way easier to use your smarts to defend your own bad thinking than to admit you might be wrong.
So here's what that looks like in the real world. A smart person rarely says, I don't want to learn. No, that's too obvious. Instead, they say something much more subtle. I've already figured it out. It sounds smart, it sounds confident, but the result is exactly the same. Your growth just grinds to a halt.
Okay, so how do we get out of this trap? The good news is, it's not some super complicated psychological trick. It's actually one simple habit, and it's something you can start doing, like right now.
So what is it? It's this.
Replace certainty with curiosity. That's it. That's the entire game. It's a conscious switch. Every single time you feel that wave of certainty wash over you, that little voice that says, I know this, you have to train yourself to replace it with a little spark of curiosity instead.
And here are the tools to do it. Instead of just stopping at I know, you ask a few simple questions. Just start with, what if I'm wrong? That one question alone can crack the whole thing wide open. Then ask, what am I missing here? That brings in a dose of humility. And my personal favorite, what would someone smarter than me notice? That one forces you to look at it from a completely different perspective.
You know, wisdom doesn't start with having all the answers. It starts with a simple sentence, I might not fully understand this yet. That right there is what keeps your mind open and alive. It's the starting line for any real, meaningful growth.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What is one thing you know for sure? Something you're absolutely certain about, maybe in your work, a relationship, or just how the world works. What would happen if, just for today, you started to question it a little?